There's a curious phenomenon happening right before our eyes. While millions frantically document every moment of their existence, converting life into content, some people have simply opted out. They move through the world leaving no digital trace, no photos, no posts, no proof. And the question everyone asks is, what's wrong with them? But perhaps we should be asking, what's right with them? We exist in an age of radical transparency. Every meal photographed, every location tagged, every smile rehearsed for the camera. And society has convinced us that if something isn't shared, it barely happened at all. But there's another group entirely, silent, invisible, different. They don't fill feeds with personal images. They don't chronicle every step. And precisely because of that, they stand completely apart from the game. These are the real protagonists of our exploration today. Because they've understood something most people overlook, that not exposing yourself constantly isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You might wonder why someone would choose shadows when everyone else fights for the spotlight. The answer runs deeper than you think. These people don't post, not because they can't, but because they understand what it truly costs. They've discovered what others haven't yet seen. Every image you surrender to the world is a piece of yourself you place in someone else's hands. And they refuse to sell themselves that cheaply. Here's what almost no one dares to acknowledge. Not posting anything, not displaying yourself, not offering your life on a digital platter, this is an act of power. A silent act, but saturated with meaning. When everyone else sprints toward exposure, the person who remains still isn't falling behind. They've chosen another path entirely, a far more solid one, where identity doesn't depend on applause. And this intelligence? It isn't measured in likes. It's measured in freedom. Think about what it truly means not to show yourself online. Your story, your moments, your most intimate experiences remain only within a circle you consciously choose, not in a showcase open to strangers. You don't need to convert every experience into public spectacle to validate it. It's like keeping a secret. What remains only with you gains extraordinary value. The most important things in your life are rarely what you post. When did you last upload a photo of real pain, of tears without filters? Almost never. Those who choose not to post understand life wasn't designed to be an exhibition album. It was meant to be lived. But let's go deeper. Behind this choice lies a fascinating social component, control of the narrative. When you share constantly, your life appears open, accessible, almost public. This creates the illusion that anyone can comment, judge, even claim ownership over what you display. But those who expose nothing, who maintain distance, they become mystery itself. And mystery, in a society drowning in information, is power, because what isn't shown provokes more questions than what's shared without measure. Here's where most people err. They believe visibility equals influence. What they fail to grasp is that true influence emerges from selective silence. Consider those who rarely post, who stay in the background, yet when they speak, when they appear, they command total attention. Why? Because they haven't exhausted themselves. They haven't diluted their presence across 1,000 trivial posts. Their absence creates expectation, and expectation is infinitely more powerful than abundance. This is the psychological secret few comprehend. Showing less is actually showing more. Rarity transforms the ordinary into the exceptional. A single photograph, a single word can carry immense weight when you're unaccustomed to seeing that person display themselves constantly. Conversely, when someone posts endlessly, their image becomes predictable, repetitive, even invisible within digital noise. Those who don't post understand this instinctively. They've grasped that scarcity holds tremendous value in a world overflowing with excess. But there's another layer, connecting directly with identity and authenticity. Posting constantly creates dependency, the dependency of external validation. Your brain adapts to receiving microdoses of dopamine each time someone likes, comments, or reacts. It's almost Pavlovian conditioning. Gradually, without realizing it, you stop living for yourself and begin living for the gaze of others. What you eat, where you travel, how you dress, everything becomes designed not to be enjoyed, but to be shown. Life transforms into a showcase rather than genuine experience. And what do those who don't post do? They liberate themselves from that trap. They experience what they feel without calculating how it appears on a screen. They eat without photographing. They travel without announcing. They laugh without requiring proof. And psychologically speaking, this is invaluable because it means their experience is authentic, not filtered through the need for display. They've reclaimed something most have lost, the ability to live for themselves. Notice this brutal paradox. Those who don't post are perceived as reserved, shy, even boring. But the truth? While others surrender their intimacy for scraps of attention, these people protect it like treasure. In that silence, in that apparent absence, they construct an invisible fortress. A fortress that doesn't need to prove anything because it's already complete. Now tell me, who is stronger? Someone who needs to display themselves to feel alive, or someone who feels so fulfilled they need to show nothing to anyone? The answer is obvious, but uncomfortable. Most will prefer to keep posting rather than confront it. Here's what truly fascinates. Not posting is also rebellion. A silent rebellion against a system demanding everything be visible, wanting you to expose yourself, wanting you to become just another product in the global marketplace. By refusing, you become invisible to consumption. You become someone who cannot be measured by superficial metrics. And that invisibility? That's power. Because in a world obsessed with being seen, disappearing becomes a luxury reserved for the most intelligent. So the inevitable question returns: do you post to connect, or do you post to be seen? Because that's the difference. Connection is authentic, intimate, human. Being seen is superficial, fleeting, ego-driven. Those who don't post have already made their choice. They've chosen real connection, even if silent, over empty exposure. I'll leave you with a reflection that may linger for days. What remains of you when you turn off the camera? If your life ceases to exist without a post, then it was never truly yours. Let's venture even further into rarely discussed territory, the construction of silence as identity. Just as some build their public persona through photos and constant exposure, others choose to build theirs through absence. Make no mistake that absence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. Silence isn't lack of voice, it's a different voice, far more powerful than saturated noise. These people develop a special aura. They become enigmas. You don't know where they are, what they're doing, who they spend their days with. And that mystery generates something no algorithm can ever create: respect. In a world where everything is exposed, what little remains hidden becomes valuable. It's why diamonds aren't found on the surface, they lie deep underground. The rare, the inaccessible sparks desire and curiosity. There's also a crucial social nuance. When you don't post, when you don't offer your life as spectacle, you force others to approach you genuinely if they want to know you. Instead of passively gathering information through your posts, they must talk to you, ask you, earn your trust. That natural filter makes your relationships deeper, more authentic. Those who know you don't know you. because they saw it online. They know because you chose to share it in person. This completely transforms the quality of your connections. Ask yourself, how many of your relationships exist only because of what you post? If you stopped uploading photos tomorrow, how many people would still genuinely care about you? The answer might be uncomfortable, but also revealing, because those who don't post have learned to distinguish genuine interest from superficial curiosity. Psychologically, this is a massive advantage. But let me add something you might not expect. Not posting allows you to inhabit life without constantly feeling like you're playing a role. How many times have you gone somewhere thinking about how the photo will look, which angle is best, when to take out your phone? That thought converts experience into theater. You're no longer at the beach to feel the sea, you're there so others see you were there. You're no longer dining to savor food, you're dining so someone can heart your plate. It's exhausting. Those who don't post escape that stage. They stop performing and start living. And here's the most unsettling part. When you choose not to post, you become immune to constant judgment. Because there's nothing to judge, no photo to criticize, no pose to analyze, no comparison to make. Within that immunity hides a kind of freedom few ever know, a freedom that doesn't need to shout because it's felt in silence. Listen carefully now. The true luxury of the future won't be having more followers. It will be having the courage not to need them. In a world where everyone wants to be seen, those who choose not to will be the only ones who truly own something of their own. They'll be owners of their time, their privacy, their peace of mind. And when that happens, perhaps we'll look back and realize the wisest weren't those who collected likes, but those who never needed them. So I'll leave you with another question, one you may have never asked yourself. Who are you when no one is watching? Because there, in that answer, lies your true self. Maybe those who don't post understood that long before the rest of us. If you look closely, there's a subtle detail that changes everything: the relationship with time. Those who live to post are chained to the frozen instant, to the here and now that must be captured in an image. Every moment becomes ephemeral display, lasting only as long as a 24-hour story. In contrast, those who don't post experience time differently. They don't rush to capture. They're not obsessed with proving they were there. They simply inhabit the moment. That psychological difference creates an enormous gap. Some live for the photo. Others live for the memory. Because here's the unsettling truth. Personal memory has nuance. It has sense, emotions. A social media photo has only a superficial version. Those who don't post understand that personal experience stored in memory is far richer than the edited image made to please others. And this habit strengthens their identity because their story isn't told through someone else's gaze, but their own. There's another layer, connecting with something even deeper: emotional security. When you don't show your life online, you protect what you love. Your family, your friends, your happiest moments remain safe from the stranger's gaze, from malicious comments, from toxic comparison. You cannot imagine how much anxiety stems from exposing your intimacy in a space where anyone can judge it. Those who choose silence online understand. Not everyone deserves access to what matters to you. That ability to set boundaries, that's a sign of psychological maturity few achieve. So tell me, who is freer, the one who constantly needs to prove they live a perfect life, or the one who lives without needing proof? That's the difference between being chained to the public eye and living according to your own truth. Let me take you to another fascinating angle: the value of mystery in human relationships. Think about it. In a world where almost everyone exposes their routine down to the smallest detail, those who don't become enigmas. And enigmas attract. They spark interest. they create magnetism. Because what isn't shown inspires more imagination than what's always visible. It's like reading a book, where the author doesn't reveal everything. What's left hidden invites you to want more. That's the magic of silence on social media. It transforms those who stay quiet into people of intrigue, people who cannot be reduced to a digital profile. This directly impacts how they're perceived socially. While many exhaust themselves seeking attention, those who don't post generate a different kind of attention, one that lasts longer, not through excess, but through rarity. It's as if in a market saturated with noise, silence becomes the rarest commodity. And you know what happens to rare things? Their value rises. Which leads me to a striking conclusion. Not posting doesn't mean disappearing. It means choosing how to exist. It means your identity doesn't depend on algorithms or applause, but on the authenticity with which you live your own story. I'll leave you with a reflection that may stay with you for a long time. If tomorrow no one could see what you do, if the digital world shut down, would you still live your life with the same intensity? Those who don't post already know the answer. They live without witnesses. And precisely for that reason, their life is entirely their own. So what do you prefer? To be the protagonist of your own experience, or a supporting actor in the theater of appearances? Maybe you've already noticed, this wasn't just about social media. It was about you, about the way you live, about what you choose to show and what you choose to keep. Because in the end, the photos you never post, the moments only you remember, those are the ones that truly belong to you. It's not about hiding from the world. It's about consciously choosing which part of you deserves to be shared and which must remain intact, yours alone. People live in fear of being forgotten, as if not posting were the same as disappearing. But those who never upload anything have discovered the most beautiful paradox. True memory isn't stored on a server. It lives in the skin, in the mind, in the soul. They know that what's unseen is often what matters most. Not posting is, in many cases, a sign of strength, clarity, and authenticity. A way of saying to the world, my life doesn't need a showcase. It already has meaning on its own. That's emotional intelligence in its purest form. Alan Watts spent his life pointing at the moon while everyone stared at his finger. These people who don't post, they've stopped staring at fingers. They're looking at the moon. The question isn't whether you should post or not post. The question is, are you living your life, or are you living a simulation of your life? Are you here now, fully present? Or are you always somewhere else, planning the next post, checking the last one, caught in the endless cycle of performance? Your life is happening right now. Sometimes the most powerful thing isn't what's shown, but what's never revealed. Imagine I close this screen right now, turn off the lights, and everything goes silent. The only thing that remains is what stayed inside you. That echo is the true ending. And remember, the biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams in silence, where no one grades it but you. If this exploration moved something inside you, if it made you question your relationship with what you show and what you keep, subscribe to this channel. We don't create content for noise. We create it for people like you who seek to go beyond the superficial, to explore the depths of consciousness and transform your life from the inside out. Hit that like button if this resonated with you. Share this with someone who always needs to show everything. Maybe what they hear will change how they see things. And write in the comments the phrase that resonated most with you from this video, the one you want to turn into your personal reminder. Let's create a space for real thoughts, not just likes. See you in the next exploration.